to tampered evidence. Well, why would you have done that? Was it for your benefit, a friend's benefits, right? Sometimes maybe it's better to start small, catch someone on something, and you work off of that. That I think is, but perjury, as much as the police are allowed to lie to us. We all know that. Police, when they interrogate us, I'm your friend, don't worry, I'll talk to the prosecutor, you're not doing anything wrong, I know you're innocent, but we're allowed to lie to them too. We have no obligation to self-incriminate ourselves. We have no obligation to violate our Fifth Amendment right to avoid self-incrimination. So, they're not under oath. Now, I'm not saying that looks good, but it's not chargeable in and of itself, again, unless it goes to some kind of destruction, manipulation of evidence.
So what kind of legal hurdles do the prosecution face for dealing with circumstantial evidence? Because that's a big part of it. It's more circumstantial evidence.
I got a link for the press conference. Let me know, gang.
I mean, at this point,
let me know if y'all got a link. But I see where Don Lemon is doing it, but I really don't want to. I see where Don Lemon is doing it, but I was trying to find a different. If y'all know where the press conference is, gang, put it in my inbox on the gram. Sco_network, gang. Put it in my inbox. I see where Don Lemon is doing it. I'm trying to find other links for the press conference, gang. Send me a link for the press conference. Right now, I'm just watching what Willie D got going on, but send me a link for the press conference in my inbox, gang, brothers. Send it to me on Instagram, gang. I need it on Instagram, not Facebook. I need it on Instagram. Smash that like button, gang. Salute to everybody in the building, y'all. Put some color in the chat. Donate to the platform. Salute, gang. We in here, gang. Salute. Let me see.
Equally plausible to the other. They both make sense. And we don't know which way it could have been because we don't know who was even involved in his last moments. So that's part of the issue with circumstantial evidence. There's no, even in circumstantial evidence, usually there's one item that's a smoking gun. We know how he passed. We know why he passed. We know where he passed. We don't know any of that. We don't know what was the ultimate cause of his death. Was it a drowning, intentional or not? Was it something before that, before he went in the water? We discussed looking at his throat and neck and the back of his head. Was it a competing lover? Was it a friend that was drunk? There's so many whys here. They have no concrete answer for any of the, where, when, how, why. All of it is equally in play for them to go forward. I mean, as a defense attorney at this point, with how messy it is, this is my best case scenario as a defense attorney, because now the moment they try, if they try,
we waiting on the big. Hey, we waiting on the big Crump press conference, gang. We waiting on the press conference, y'all. Salute to everybody. Good morning, gang. Good morning.
Now you have all this public pressure, and now you decided.
Good morning, gang. We waiting on the big Crump press conference, gang. Good morning, gang.
Months ago, you didn't know, but now all of a sudden you know. You have no new evidence to say. You have nothing. Now that you're just deciding because you're being pressured by your community. I would have a field day as a defense attorney for any of these. Give me any kid, I'll give you an acquittal right now. Okay, it had nothing for so long. You're gonna try to tell me that now all of a sudden, no, you capitulated.
He's saying the boys are innocent.
Your community,
he said
the outcry, to the public attention. I would tear this apart now because they don't know.
This dude is saying they have no information that these boys are innocent. If he was representing these boys, that they will be off by now because they have no physical evidence or nothing whatsoever on these boys. We are waiting on the press conference with Ben Crump, gang. If y'all have another link, if y'all have a link to the press conference, put it in my inbox on Instagram, gang. SKO_network, man. Salute to everybody building y'all. Good morning, gang. Salute. We here to watch the press conference, but this dude here is saying, man, them boys ain't going to jail, man. Y'all have nothing on them.
It's not proof. It's not the burden the prosecutor have at a trial. It's do they have enough probable cause? It's probable that this happened. They have to understand that there's no defense put into the grand jury. Okay, that effectively, I've indicted my own ham sandwich because there wasn't enough mustard on it. That's how easy it is to get an indictment as a prosecutor. Okay, you have to be asleep behind the wheel to not get an indictment on a case. Okay, an indictment is all but a given. Okay, it's a one-way conversation. It's like you and I having a debate, and I get to say nothing, and you talk, and then you ask your audience, who do you think was right, Willie or Jack? They're gonna go with you. I didn't say anything. I didn't get to. You didn't even see my face. So the indictment means nothing. Now, conversely, if they don't get an indictment, I mean, can this get any worse from a public relations standpoint for this state attorney's office? I mean, they can't win for losing. So it's a matter if they don't get it. It's like they're going to be blamed for being incompetent, right? Whatever the evidence is, or they're going to be blamed for being so incompetent or motivated to kind of scuttle the case. They're never going to get a benefit. I'm not saying they should. And I would be just as critical of them as a defense attorney if they tried now for the same reason. You've made such a mess of this. You're now deferring it to a jury, hoping they will clean up your mess one way or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not my fault there's no indictment. A jury of your peers decided. Or, ladies and gentlemen, it's not my decision he was indicted. The grand jury decided. They almost so want to punt this to blame someone else, whichever way it goes.
So you're the defense attorney. You're in the courtroom right now. The grand jury has moved forward with an indictment. Now you are standing before the courtroom and you're presenting the case. Which of these guys, in your opinion, is the strongest link or the weakest link? Which one of these guys, who's the strongest link and who's the weakest link in this?
Right. So if I had to pick someone who I thought was most likely to have charges brought against them, I'm not saying they're strong. I think, again, it goes to the kid who called his mom. The kid who called his mom is the one most likely to know something at the most critical time before Nolan's death, because he was the one that knew enough to make a call to an attorney, who happens to be his mom, to say, I know something about a kid who may not be doing so well right now. That's the kid that I think
Warren
has the most to fear, whether he did something or not, because it goes to, how did you know to make that call? And what was the call?
We wait on the press conference game. We're waiting on the press conference game.
Now, the flip side is,
hey, we're waiting on the press conference. If y'all got a link to the press conference game, I see where Don Lemon is happening. Do anybody else have a link to the press conference? Is there another channel that's showing the press conference? I haven't seen any news stations with the press conference ready to go. Is there a link to who's showing the news conference game? Is there a channel? Is there news? I'm looking for the press conference. I see where Don Lemon is showing it, but I'm looking for an official press conference link, gang. Smash the like button. Good morning to everybody, y'all. Donate to the platform, gang. Salute to everybody in the building. Good morning, gang. I hope y'all brush your teeth. I hope y'all at work. Put that bowl of cereal down and tell me where can I find the link to the press conference. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. Salute, gang. Salute. Mouthpiece, what's good, my brother? Salute to everybody in the building, y'all.
Had he not made that phone call, how long would it have been till anyone even thought to look for Nolan? Much less where and when and why. He doesn't make that call. This coverage is even worse. It goes into a missing case. The family's freaking out for days. No one's saying anything. To the extent no one's done anything for the family, he's done the most for anyone. I'm not saying he did a lot. I'm not saying he couldn't do more. I'm saying he's the only one that made an effort before this became a criminal investigation. I would say my client is the scapegoat. Okay. Second from there, I want to know about the lovers' quarrel. Take me to the girl. Let me know her whereabouts. And then lastly is anyone with footage. I think the kids on the initial boat, I think they're too far down the totem pole because it seems that they were not with him. Again, it's not was he drinking, now were his friends drinking, they're all 18, 20, whether they're underage or not. They're doing college stuff, right? So maybe it wasn't right, but it's not unheard of for college kids to be drinking and, spring break type action. Take me to his last moments. That's the kid who I think has the most reason to go radio silence, private is social media. I remind him, you're saying nothing, not because you're guilty, because you are innocent until you are proven guilty, and you have no obligation to say anything to anyone. If people are accusing my client of anything, the first thing I tell them repeatedly is, shut up. You shut up. You don't talk. I talk for you. What I say is an argument. What you say is a statement that can be used. You say nothing. And I'm sure his mom knew that too.
So what do you make of the grandfather, Jerry Atkerson, the guy who owned the boat, the guy whose grandson made that call, where you hear what sounds like to me
we wait on the press conference, gang.
conversation
Salute to everybody,
going
y'all. Good morning,
just
everybody.
after somebody was hurt.
Yeah,
Somebody was hurt.
Salute
Ain't
to
nobody
everybody.
gonna get me to
Lemon, man.
convince me.
I have to go over there and watch it with the lemon
that-
drops, man.
That call, that exchange.
We might have to go over there and watch the press conference with the goddamn lemon drops, man. Smash that like button. Salute to everybody in the building. Yeah, we might have to go watch the press conference with the lemon drops over there, man. Shout out to Don Lemon, man. God damn. Salute to everybody in the building, man. I was not trying to kick it with the lemon drops. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. Smash that like button, gang. We wait on the press conference from Ben Crump. We waiting to hear the updates about Nolan Wells, Tyler Smith, Daniel Irving. Salute to everybody up rocking with me, gang. Man, if you got a link to the press conference, send it to me. But if not, we're going to have to go over there and watch it with the lemon drops, man. Salute to my boy Willie D up early going in, man. Shout out to Willie D, man.
For you to try to get over.
So it is. I'd have to address it. You're the prosecutor, Willie, right? You're bringing this to me. You're bringing this to the jury. You're saying, look, how do you get around this? Here's how I tell you around this. One, you can't identify with certainty the voices in the background, okay? Two, even if you can, you don't know which voices, if any, had any physical contact with Nolan. The most you have are unidentified voices making statements. You don't know of any conduct or lack of conduct. Okay, you don't know who was there. And this goes back to another possible charge these kids are facing. Let's say something happened to him, Nolan, on the boat, and they went from the boat to the water. Okay, now you're talking about
salute to everybody building, y'all. Salute, gang. I can't wait to hear from Ben Crump, gang.
Deceased body.
I can't wait to hear from Ben Crump.
Right, like if he
smash that like button,
man. And his life,
I got mouthpiece for that cash app, man. Salute to mouthpiece for that cash app. Salute, gang.
And if he went overboard, okay, and maybe the death was an accident.
Salute to mouthpiece for that cash app. Salute, fam.
Right. If someone pushed his dead body overboard, okay, now you're tampering with a dead body. That's a criminal charge. Okay, so let's say for the sake of an example, a possibility, right, that he passed out from intoxication and sun exposure, the elements, the partying, it got the better of him. He passed out. These kids are all freaking out. Maybe he had a pulse, maybe he didn't, but these kids are freaking out because someone passed out on the boat. If someone tipped that body over the boat, that's a problem. But you can't tell me who did it, so you can't tell me it was my client. That's how I get around. I point the finger. I say, it's just as likely John did it, that Dennis did it, that Ethan did it, that I did it.
Salute to everybody
building. And being in the water.
Salute to everybody in the building. I'll say it hasn't started your game. It started with the start on there.
You can't tell me who it was with any definition. You don't know. And that's probable cause. That's reasonable. That is reasonable. If you put my client at the scene, is not complicit with the crime.
Salute, Chrissy. Raven, did you send it to me on Instagram? Please send it to me on the phone.
These are the legal hurdles. Again,
where did you send it to me? Please send it to me on Facebook.
This is like in a courtroom. I'm not talking the court of public opinion. I'm talking the courtroom of law where criminal charges are brought and punishments are decided. It's very different.
I see it's going to start in a minute.
To create a public opinion.
Let me see. Hold on, gang. 1 second.
Anyone guilty or innocent.
1 second.
What we think matters less than what a judge and a prosecutor and a jury.
I'm looking for the
from that point. Unless you have someone,
it has not started yet, as far as I know.
Snitch on someone else, which I've not seen any of that. You need an eyewitness.
Let me see. Here we go.
An eyewitness to say, "Look,
I got it. I found it.
How do you know? I was there." And if one or more persons were involved,
Here we go, gang. Smash that like button. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. Salute. Smash that like button, gang. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. Salute.
As long as he turns it 45 degrees to the right, it should be.
What? Try again. Okay, that one's good. There it goes. Okay. But Nolan is.
She's probably super recording turn.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Now they moved the middle one. Now it's got that glare on it again. I'm sorry. It's just we're all. The middle one now has the glare again. I'm sorry. It was perfect earlier. The middle one, angle it a bit more towards the aisle here, maybe. Right? You want to get it centered, right? I think so. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. I just that's fine. The faces and glare. So it's a shoot a little bit wider so you can see it. But I'm kind of centered. Yeah, look at always properly. Yeah.
I guess when you're done, you can just.
I got a shot of it. I don't want to.
Thank you.
I'm not.
Like, if anything, you can
Yeah.
come closer.
No, it's okay. I appreciate your help. Thank you. It's fine.
Right now, I only have like families of whoever, but I don't have the actual
So, are you working for the Urban League or the station?
CNN.
Oh, okay. I guess
like 7 minutes.
I guess that video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Next to you.
5-7 minutes.
7. Where are you based out of?
Come on, Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah.
They called me at like 4:30 yesterday afternoon, which I was already on overtime, so I'm like, which places to go. They said somebody Washington.
I've got some colleagues that are in South Carolina. You know. Long way.
I'm uncomfortable outside or something. I mean, I noticed it's like 4 degrees warmer here. I don't know what the humidity is, but we're like at 99%. It seems like, feels like all the time.
Usually one thing can get kind of drought conditions.
It started off that way.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how that goes at CNN in the next quarter.
Feels like it's every
The good thing is, I mean, I'm ready to leave. Give me a buyout, and I'm gone.
they do
Usually, I mean, it's not to say that they don't get rid of people, you know. I already had 2 knee replacements before the hips go. Jesse Jackson was the one that taught me about C18. I think the one on the Italian.
It's hard to get a lot of people.
I always have to preface it with Jesse Jackson. I was surprised they sent me with a reporter and if there was any more on it. it's usually the reporter, the producer. I mean, there's laid off so many producers. Not laid off. Fire the people or a layoff, whatever the terminology is, and then the next week we have ads out for them and fill those positions. Yes, not that they were bad field producers. And now, I mean, if they were to lose any photographers due to attrition, then they make them all platform journalists on a salary. No overtime anymore. I'm like, I wouldn't do this job without. I'd rather be an accountant.
Nikki's coming now. Yeah, I said that. Yeah,
Justice for Nolan. Justice for Daniel Murray. 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 Justice for Tyler Smith. 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 Justice for our black children. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say how much I appreciate you all coming out for this important media conference. We have organized this press conference for a few purposes. One purpose is because we want the world to know that the National Urban League and all of our affiliates and members and supporters across the country are standing with these three families. And when families suffer the tragedy of the loss of a child, it gets lonely. And when families suffer the loss of children under circumstances that are suspicious and to the naked eye appear unjust, we must stand with these families. When families face the challenge of a non-responsive criminal justice system, we must stand with these families. With this giant of a lawyer and advocate over the last 15 years, going all the way back to Trayvon Martin, we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients. And we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients because we want the community to know that we are not going to be silent in the face of injustice. Amen. and I cannot even fathom the pain of these families. I want to thank them for their courage, for being here in public, under the glare of the media, in these circumstances. But we want them to know they are with family. We're standing with family. So Ben Crump is going to bring us all up to date on the latest facts, events, and status of these 3 cases. And we are going to continue, as we said in the earlier session, to advocate until there is justice for these 3 families. And we will not be silent. We will not get tired. Amen. We will not get distracted. Amen. Until justice rolls down in these 3 cases. Amen. So I'm proud to introduce a man who is known as the Attorney General for Black America. And I dare say he stands with the great lawyers that our community has produced. Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Johnny Cotton, and I can name so many others, who over the years have been advocates for our community in many, many ways. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you are going to hear is from one of America's great lawyers, someone who is giving voice to the families and the victims of injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Crump.
Thank you to President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Please give a great round of applause for him not making it robbery to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, Lee Merritt, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we gonna get justice for Nolan Wells. We gonna get justice for Daniel Irvin, and we gonna get justice for Tyler Smith. And the large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power. Thank you, Mr. Mario. Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family with other great lawyers, for Nolan Wells. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice, and we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine, and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. God, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Irvin. Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. Until the lawyers get there, until the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mariel. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let them sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Wales. And you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Hurts and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wales goes with friends, celebrating the 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wales tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. And we are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CTO call in its entirety. We also, and Attorney Hurts may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Mariel with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? We want the expert. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up, so we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wales. Attorney Hurts will also go into a little more detail, and Attorney Park, about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wales, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth, so we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned or not. And remember what Dr. Roger Mitchell said in his autopsy. President Mariel, he talked about the fact that to say he drowned does not draw the conclusions of what happened to Nolan Wales. He said it is equally important to know at what condition was Nolan Wales' body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or did he go unforced into the water? He said all of these things are very important. And so we're dotting I's and crossing T's. We are focused on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits. And we stand for transparency, so everybody can see. And that's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered, to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask? That's all. If it was your child, wouldn't you want the same thing? And I get it, they're attacking me, they're attacking Reverend Al, they're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no waste time. We are completely focused, completely laser focused on getting to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. And so the threats, the attacks mean nothing to us. We will not be deterred. Look into our eyes. We're going to get to the truth. I am so grateful to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Irvin's family, and we can help Tyler Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. I mean, it's so important. Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Congresswoman Beatty, we thank you in the Congressional Black Caucus. Please stand and join us, Congresswoman. You all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's important that we have the full weight and force of everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boy. Now, before I bring up the lawyers, I just want to say a word about Daniel Irvin and about his case, and you'll hear from Attorney Sean DeRaya, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar, and what they're saying about Nolan Wells, and that is her 18-year-old son, President Maria, Congresswoman Beatty, two young white teenagers come, pick them up from their house, leave, they go on, I guess it's an alleged fishing trip. Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowns. But his two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages between Daniel Irvin and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they gonna throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and before they are searching for what happened, Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they said, no, something happened to Daniel Irvin. We got to get to the bottom of this. Then and only then, Mark Coriel, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents and they say, well, we were there, and they confess that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charged and arrested him after 3 months. 3 months passed, not until Nolan Wells started making the news did they finally come, and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Irvin. They arrest him with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney Derea is saying, what Attorney Brooke Cruz is saying is simply this. If they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things that don't add up, about the conduct of the boys immediately after the drowning, the alleged drowning. It's so critically important that we remember Daniel Irvin as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cruz, we talk about Tyler Smith, and I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these broken-hearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Bailey. Attorney Daniels, 4th of July, same 4th of July 2026 when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July small house party. Somehow, Tyler ends up being shot in his head, dead. 911 is called. They come, the police get there. They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, this the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, wouldn't you bag his hands and wouldn't you test it for gunshot residue? But they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used to shoot himself with, the police, after they do analysis, it does not match the casings that they found on the floor to where he shot himself at. So still, they are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Miss Leasley? 7 days later, after they did say who all was in the house, they have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate, and they go surround one of the young men's houses he married, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Kathleen Tree. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or been in a way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no, he is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Deasy? Nothing more. And nobody in all three of the questionable deaths of these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let you sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answers of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Irvin, and what happened to Tyler Smith. 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July, 2026, who all were unalive in very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much, Elmore. At this time, before we get to your questions, you're going to hear briefly from Attorney Eric Hertz and then Attorney Lisa Park with some updates, and then you'll hear from Nolan Wells' parents. Attorney Eric Hertz, it's great to see you.
Thank you for showing up. I have some brief updates on the Nolan Wells case. We have been working with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back evidence, and that's something that we will see. The phones, not just our clients' phones, but the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts, and I believe, if I'm not speaking out, turn the FBI is going to also be present there. And that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, I would like to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable, and justice will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this effort for Nolan Wells.
So today I just want to recognize all of these families for coming here today, traveling here to Nashville, even family that's here in the audience. If you think for just a moment, for these tragedies, they really just happened. It really just happened. If you've ever had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be. For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together. We are stronger together. And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases. But there's hope. And I see that hope because we do get calls. We have been getting over 100 calls a day. And I want to thank everybody who's called in, because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight. When somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that. Because we know that we're stronger together. These questions, these cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right? But I also, last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it. And you just have to be brave. And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need you. We need you. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Clark. And as Nolan's mother and father get ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light, and we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast dispersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like we said, if that implication or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you could understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July. How people came, time within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just gone. How do you tell somebody to just go on when my son is dead and nobody's giving us any answers? All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody knows nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. And it's starting to come to light. Because truth is light. And we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Elmore and Christine.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm faced with a new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got a lot of stuff, but what I really want to say is, like my wife said, if you know something and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who say that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent will know. Also, the disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy? We, as Americans, this is a diverse country. Not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out. And not just us, but all these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward. Because losing a child is something that you lose in this life. Thank you.
Thank you. And President Mario, I would just say the attacks, Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. Can you all imagine anything worse than that? That is a shame before God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you. Next we're going to have the mother of Daniel Irvin come and talk about her child and tell you what happened in her words, and then you hear brief remarks from attorney Sean DeRee. Sean, you want to brief you from attorney DeRee will speak before her.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. Tampering charges in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Tampering in itself means that someone intentionally hid, destroyed, or altered evidence. If the district attorney's office has that evidence, take that evidence, put it together, and present it to a new grand jury. And if the district attorney's office doesn't want to do it, we are calling on an independent investigation by the Department of Justice, because we are here for the truth. And one last point I want to add, Mr. Crump said, Daniel Irving, when these boys said that he drowned, he was a high school swimmer. He was on the swim team. He was a healthy, young 18-year-old male. So that story that he drowned accidentally, it doesn't add up. It does not add up, and we want the truth.
Police and law enforcement are supposed to be protecting and serving. But my question today is, who are they protecting and which communities are they serving? What we want to know is why crimes against Black and brown people receive less justice and less coverage. And I'm going to give you some data to back it up, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to make any mistakes here. Over a 10-year period, statistics show that 53% of Black killings go uncharged, no charges related. And so that means over half of those related killings are never prosecuted. And when you think about arrest rates, 63% of white victims receive justice versus are compared to 47% of Black victims. So when people think we have two systems of justice in this country, the data kind of backs that up. And now we'll hear from Tamika.
My name is Tamika Irving. I am the mother of Daniel Irving. This is my daughter, Azaria Irving. This is Daniel's eldest sister. So what a lot of you guys don't know, to give you like some context, my son told me that he was going to go outside and hang with some friends. Okay, and I was under the understanding that he would be in the neighborhood. So I didn't know where my son was. I thought that he was just visiting friends in the neighborhood. Around 8 o'clock or so, I started to text Mike, call Mike, and Mike was an honorable child. He wanted to serve and protect, be in the military. He loved people. He always had a joke to tell. He was very comical. So I called the police the following day at 12:30 in the morning, and I said, hey, my son ID is here, and his money is here, his social security is here, and I don't know where he's at, and this is not like him. So I'm reporting him missing under suspicious circumstances. The officers were very dismissive. The officers were very dismissive. So I didn't get any information about where my son was. I canvassed the neighborhood. I knocked on doors. I asked neighbors for video footage. I had to do the footwork, the research, the investigating. I had to do it. And so to the mothers, to anyone out there who have a loved one, do not wait for the police to do their job. Okay, so fast forward, I reported my son missing. My son was to graduate in May. He was unable to graduate because the two boys murdered my son. They said my son jumped off a bridge, and I know that's not the truth. He was found in water. And not only that, my son was on the swim team. He was very comfortable with swimming in the pool, swimming in lakes. The autopsy report shows my son had an unobstructed airway. So my son did not drown. I want to know why the people that are in place to serve and protect failed to do their job from the very start. When I reported my son missing, it took them 35 hours, over 35 hours to input his information, only in the state system, showing that he was missing. They failed to enter his information in the NCIC, the National Criminal Database. Being my son was under 21, law enforcement had a responsibility to enter his information within 2 hours, and they failed to do that. My son will fight for me, and I'm here to fight for him. I want justice. We are in the pursuit of justice.
Justice for Daniel Irving. Justice for Daniel Irving. Justice for Daniel Irving. And the final family you will hear from is going to be the family of Tyler Smith, who many of you haven't heard of at all. And I want to have his family who drove from Lexington, Kentucky to the National Urban League Convention to say that Tyler Smith life matters too. Y'all, please give him a round of applause. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters.
I want to thank everyone for showing up today, supporting all these families. I was asked many times, who is Tyler? What does Tyler mean to you? And I had to take a deep dive into that, because to give a few words wouldn't be justice. So I went into my prayer closet, as most names do. Because see, Tyler calls me name. And when people ask me to tell them, I find a struggle in finding words big enough to describe who he is. Tyler is charismatic. He's warmth. Tyler is love. Tyler is compassion and tolerance. Tyler is focus and determination. Tyler is an entrepreneur with dreams, goals, and a vision for his future. Tyler is a calming presence, a peacemaker, and a source of comfort to those around him. Tyler is that warm piece of cake straight out of the oven, that soft buttermilk biscuit that the butter glides across the top. Tyler is the depth of a baby's laughter and the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Tyler is what many people spend a lifetime searching for, but never fully find: a genuine soul with a kind heart and a beautiful spirit. For me, Tyler is much more than all of those things. He's my motivation, my determination, the wind beneath my wings. Even in his absence, he continues to give me strength. He has become a part of the reason I stand, the part of the reason that I keep moving forward. When I received that call at 6 a.m. that morning, that my grandson had been involved in a shooting, I thought, okay, hand, foot. And I arrived upon the scene of the hospital and found out that this was a gunshot wound to the head. Again, I'm a praying mother. I have a son who a year ago had a near fatal car accident. I know what God can do. You can't tell me what God can do. I've seen it. I watch it every day. I watch him learn how to walk and talk. And I comforted his grandfather and said, don't worry about this. We've already been through this fire. It'll be okay. When the physician came out and pronounced my grandson. And she stated, self-inflicted, accidental. I told her, you're a lie, and there is no truth in it. I explained to her immediately. I said, how do you have this evidence for you to know this? She said, because they said. I said, they said? She said, yes. As days progressed, my family and I began to move forward. We got none effort, energy at all from the Lexington Fayette County Police Department. We were told that we needed to accept accidental, self-inflicted. They offered no traces of gun residue, even though I called the coroner's office and the police department. And I begged and pleaded, please, bag his hands. No child, and I say child because it's relative, no one was searched on the scene. They took an investigation as a total from all 5 of these young people and said, they said this is what happened. I asked for gun residue on anyone. The answer that I was given, well, there's no need to bag his hands. Everyone in this room would have gun residue on them. That was their excuse to me. When they moved my grandson in an expedient manner, not to our local coroner's office, but to the state capitol, which I was told wouldn't happen until that following Monday. Miraculously, in 2 hours, he was on his way to the medical examiner in the capitol. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., they came back and told me again, accidental, self-inflicted. For 17 days, my sons and I worked tirelessly, investigating everything on our own. The police department gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. They treated me as if I were a pirate, asking all the wrong questions. Why do you need to know? We've handed you that carrot already. Take a bite, settle down. It's accidental, self-inflicted. As I talked to the police chief, I explained to him, he said, well, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? I said, what would you be looking for?
Exactly.
I want transparency. I want you to simply do the job that you were paid to do. My family never asked you for a better deal. We just asked you to earn the paycheck that you either receive this week or the next. We ask you to simply, the same way you go into our Black and brown neighborhoods and you can investigate and you can interrogate and you can charge, give us the same respect. Tyler is loved. He's loved. But most importantly, Tyler calls her mama. Tyler calls me Pepper. That's my baby, Pepper. He's my baby. It will be my dying breath to say his name. No stone will go unturned. I'm not afraid to go to hell and sit with the devil about my work. I want to know. I want transparency. I want someone to speak on it. Continue to say our names. Continue to say our children's names. We deserve answers. We deserve justice. We deserve transparency. That's all we're asking for. And I thank you all so much for the time and the space that you have given every one of us.
Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. And we're going to get to the truth on Tyler. I promise you, we're going to get to the truth of what happened to Tyler Smith. At this time, President Mario, we're going to ask that the Congresswoman just say a brief word and take questions. Yes, Evans, CBC, thank you all very much.
Let me simply say the 2 most powerful words we can say. To you as families, to the Urban League family, to you, President and CEO, and my good friend, to you, Attorney Ben Crump. Thank you. But let me just say, the Congressional Black Caucus, we aren't just coming today. We communicated with Attorney Crump, with President Muriel, and we stand with you. And I'll end with your words, Mark. We're going to let justice roll down like a stream and righteousness like mighty waters. We are the Congressional Black Caucus. We stand for you, for justice, transparency, and righteousness. Thank you and God bless you.
Has been moving and powerful. We want to take questions from members of the media. Members of the media, if anyone in the working media has a question for Attorney Crump, then please identify yourself, speak real loudly. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And that's an excellent question because thank God for us being able to get the national attention on Nolan Wells' case. And that doesn't happen just by coincidence. It's a lot of the civil rights community, a lot of the activists, Reverend Al, people like Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, everybody on social media coming to say, no, this ain't adding up. We got to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then we get contacted by our good friend, Attorney Sean Perez, saying that, hey, we got a similar case, Attorney Crump, where you co-counsel with us, and Attorney Brooklyn start working with them. And then we get a call to the call center, President Marielle, and I simply can't believe what happened to Titus Smith. It shocks my conscience. And so Kareem Ali and Cliff Jones, my investigators, they start to investigate. And we're saying, this can't be true. They really didn't do a gunshot rescue test on the hands. That's basic. And so it hits me that all of them are 18-year-old black kids that died in very questionable circumstances when Nolan was the only black kid on the boat. Daniel was the only black kid allegedly on the fishing trip. And Tyler was the only black kid at the 4th of July celebration party, house party. And all of them are 18 years old. Look at the dates. That's eerie when you look at the dates. February 8th, Tyler Smith is born. July 4th, 2026, he is dead. Can I see the other? Oh, this is Daniel Irvin. He's born November 21st, 2007. He is dead on April 17th, 2026. President Nolan Wells, born August 19th, 2007. He is dead in July of 2026. The day is yet to be determined. All of these young black kids were born in 2007, and all three of these black kids died 2026, 18 years of age, on the cusp of manhood. And I said, no, we got to show that this is not a coincidence that all these young 18-year-old black men are ending up dead and nobody's being held accountable. No, we got to bring the law. We got to bring the law. We must bring the law for these 18-year-old black men.
Let me also our members who were planning to come to Nashville asked me late last week if we would be commenting on, dealing with, shedding any light on the Nolan Wells case. I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me, by the way, there are two other similar cases. I said, 2 other similar cases. I said, then can you bring all of the families to Nashville? Because the thousands of urban leaders who are here are interested in, have a solidarity with, want to hear directly, not through filters, about the circumstances of these cases. And that is what the National Urban League Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing, cutting-edge issues that face the nation and face Black America. So we are here because this is what we do. Yes. Whether it's Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, we deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I want to say this, we trust that Crump. And we know that he does not engage in chasing false cases. That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families. All too often, when Black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence. They can't find lawyers with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here now. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post.
Yeah, we know about the question. We're ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation, it's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. And it's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on. We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Another one.
That accusation doesn't deserve a response.
That's right.
There's
I
no
didn't hear it.
dignity
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear what you had.
associated with someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time arguing with donkeys. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have three.
We have to find out what that question was. We have to find out what the question was.
Circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail, hate this, hate that. No one. Our dignity in standing up. And I'm not your reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. And I'm not, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work. That's right. Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every Trump lawyer,
The question has something to do
every
about money.
insurance defense lawyer. And I really want everyone to understand, let's not be distracted. Let's not give oxygen. Let's not give air to haters and distractors and dissuaders. So thank you for your question. I'm gonna say this. I will not ever surrender the fact that I am American. However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I note it as an important day. And I'm not gonna fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag. And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right, our birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country. Amen. Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times. And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us, but what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what the true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice. A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we gotta understand that we're not gonna get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country. That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity. The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents. This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable. So when we stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we are doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission. And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends, we have no permanent enemies, we only have permanent interests. So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before we go to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans as WBC was saying, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the rolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestors. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America. Three in the end, and I want the TV man that's going to be it. Go ahead. I'll Sean speak briefly to Daniel Irvin, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to Daniel Irvin case. Sean and his case and your mother been fighting and not making progress, but we're going to get answers, Sean.
We have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the District Attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case. We're going to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan, she said that there was a witness after the trial that said, Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she's saying, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Well, that's going to cause you to limp.
Yes, that is true. And there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives. And they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit. The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
I would just respond to this here on Ryan. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information returning.
Right here in Dallas, that's just Daniel Irvin.
Her son,
that's sad, man.
Unforced, went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that.
On the high school swim team, it's what you swim like a fish.
As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother. And we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last name. Okay.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces with people that do not look like you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my Black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
This is so tragic, but this is why Ben Crump is saying that. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel.
That's right.
They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, and there are many, many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people, and that is really, really important in the case. I want to confront the question you asked about race. Something in this country, whenever a Black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign?
That's right.
Of playing race card. I have seen this movie for many, many, many years. And we are going to call it out because we are not going to be dissuaded, distracted, or intimidated for standing up for members of our community. Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles. It's just a lot of rhetoric, it's nasty, and it's hateful. But you know what I found? For every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people, yes, who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out, they may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity. We have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room. Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities. I will power motion. Let's thank them from. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage, their courage, their courage. I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is adjourned.
Thank you, Mark Moriel and the National Urban League.
Smash that like button, gang. Salute to everybody bidding y'all. What did we learn from the press conference? We learned that all the investigations are still going. What did we learn, gang? Salute to everybody bidding y'all. What did we learn today, gang? Smash that like button, gang. Salute to everybody been rocking. What did we learn from the press conference, gang? We'll be back to break some of this down. But what did we learn from the press conference, man? Rest in peace to Tyler Smith. Rest in peace to Daniel Irvin right here in Dallas, Texas as well. Rest in peace to Tyler Smith out of Lexington, Kentucky. All three of these cases are crazy, man. smash that like button, gang. What did we learn today, gang? Did we learn anything about any of these cases? We most definitely heard from the parents, Tyler Smith, Daniel Irvin, Nolan Wells. Did we learn anything? Any new updates, gang? Any new updates? We'll be back tonight, though, gang. We'll be back tonight. Y'all know we got a lot to break down either way it go. You know the story is unraveling as we speak right now. You did. Oh, I'm seeing things online already unfolding in the Nolan Wells situation right now as far as different things coming up. People saying this, saying that. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. We'll be back tonight, gang, because we got more to break down, y'all. Make sure y'all pop out tonight, gang. Make sure y'all pop
Under
out.
our brand new Freedom Hall, as we call it, Freedom Haulers Initiative. Any American.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy how they did that, fam. Oh, that's crazy. They just threw Trump on. Y'all see how they pulled that? That was crazy, fam. They just threw Trump on. Oh man, yeah, they just threw it. That's crazy. They just turned the program went off and Donald Trump popped up. Wow. Salute to everybody in the building, gang. Salute to all my Donald Trump supporters in the building. Shout out to everybody that don't rock with Trump, man. Salute to everybody, man. I rock with all y'all, man. I want to hear from everybody, man, especially when it comes to the Nolan Wells case. No matter how you feel about the Nolan Wells case, man, jump in my chat and talk to us, gang. We will be back tonight, gang. Salute to everybody that donate to the platform too, man. Salute to everybody that donate to. Shout out to Mouthpiece. Shout out to Joy. Salute to Joy, man. Shout out to D Rich. We learned a lot of people are stuck wanting to divide. Shout out to D Rich, man. Salute to D Rich. Let me see. Hold on, gang. Smash that like button, gang. Smash that like button. Shout out to Ed4 Dread. Gang, stay away from them Popeyes fried Trojan chicken biscuits. He not lying though. It's not all right. Yeah, that was earlier in the show. I mean, it was a lot going on in this chat too, man. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody. Building, man. We'll be back, gang. We got a lot more to break down. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, SKO_network, SKO_network. Any videos, any updates about the Nolan Wells case, put it in my inbox, gang. Follow me on Facebook, Chris_, Pettie, Chris Petty on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, gang. Salute to everybody bidding y'all. Send me those videos. Send me those updates. We got a lot to break down. We still don't got the autopsy yet. The family ain't got the throat back. It's so much going on. We ain't heard from Katie. Bart attorney is suing. Warren's dad has put up $50,000. Everybody wants some answers from Ben Crump. Your boy Officer Tatum is going crazy online, losing his damn mind. Nancy Grace is turning this shit up. It's a lot going on with the Nolan Wells investigation, gang. And we here to tune in to all of it. Shout out to Willie D. Shout out to everybody online breaking this thing down, man. Salute to everybody in the building, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's Big Skull Gang or No Gang or Don't Bang. And we don't break the news. We just break the news down, y'all. Till next time, y'all. Till tonight. We'll be back tonight, gang, to break it down. Salute to everybody in the building, y'all. I'm gone, gang. Salute, gang. We gone, man. We'll be back to break it down, gang. We'll be back to break it down. Look at the whole gang, man. Look at the whole gang. I see y'all in the building, man. Y'all, it's your boy Justin on the scope. We don't break the news. We just break the news down. It's most definitely Scope Gang or No Gang or Don't Bang. Hey, we're gonna stay real over here, man. Big Scope Gang. Salute to everybody watching this video. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I do live streams all the time.